Hey y'all, guess what we're going to talk about today? Bet you can't figure it out. Maybe the ears give it away. Stick around, we're going to talk Disney for a few minutes. All right, I got my ears on, which means today we're going to talk Disney. And specifically, do you stay on property or do you stay off property? And I think both have pros and cons, so we're going to talk about that a little bit. Obviously, staying on property with Disney provides some more conveniences, right? You're closer, you can use their transportation to get to and from the parks, depending on what resort you're at. There's a Skyliner, there's a bus, there's the boat, there's the monorail. So you have all of these transportation options to move around to your Disney parks, Disney Springs, things like that. You have access to a Disney dining plan, and that's probably a whole other video. But Disney dining plans allow you to really pay for your food up front so that when you're on property and in the parks, you have a certain number of meals and drinks and things you can get per day that are kind of prepaid, but you don't have that option unless you're on property. And then there is some convenience factor, right? You're not going to have to pay for parking. You're not going to have to navigate the parking lots. If you've got anybody that travels with you that is handicapped and needs a wheelchair or a scooter or anything like that, being on property is a little bit easier. Because obviously you're not getting a scooter on the back of your car, off the back of your car. Now, you can rent them in park though for the day. And not have to transport your own, but a lot of people that have their own don't want to spend that extra money. So I think there's a lot of pros to staying on property. The big one is it enhances the magic, if you will. And for moms of littles, being on property means that if you're in the park in the middle of the day and it's nap time, I always say we did Disney years ago when my nieces and nephew were smaller. And it was the happiest place on earth until about 2 p.m. And then every kid in that park needed a nap and most of the adults needed a drink. So, if you've got littles, being on property means that you can leave the park, head back to the room, take a nap, head back out to the park. If you're off property, that involves getting out of the park, getting all the way to the parking lot, getting in your car, driving back to the room, taking or house, whatever you've rented, taking a nap, getting them back up, driving back, going back through parking, getting back into the park. And if you're at Magic Kingdom, you can't actually park at Magic Kingdom. You have to park at the Transportation Commission and take the monorail to get there. So if you have littles that you're traveling with, that is something to consider. Or if you have a mixed age group, right? You may have a husband and kids that want to stay in the park and you and the little want to go back and take some downtime. And then nobody's being abandoned. Everybody can do both. So now let's chat about the pros and cons to staying off property. Sometimes it's going to be cheaper. If you have a large group, I think off property is probably better. We went in 22 with my sister and my nieces and my nephews, significant others, my mom. There was like 10, 11 of us. We did an Airbnb because we wanted to be able to have some together time as a family. And we actually have some friends that we asked that they're big Disney travelers, and we asked them on property or off. And their answer was on property unless you have a big group and you want to spend a lot of time with them, and then do off property. That way you have, a house where you have some more togetherness time. I think off property is a good option if it makes sense for your budget, right? So For my husband and I, we have a lot of hotel points. And so a lot of times we can use those and stay for free. So I think your pro really on off property is how large is your group and what is your budget like? It's also worth saying, are there other things you want to do outside of Disney? Do you want to do Universal? Do you want to do SeaWorld? Are there things like that in the Orlando area? Do you want to drive down a little bit outside of Orlando and do Legoland or Peppa Pig? And if so, staying off property may make more sense because you're not going to be there to utilize the meal plan, or you're not going to be there all of those days that you're in a Disney resort, but you're visiting Universal or doing other things. So I think it depends on your trip too. So I guess my answer ultimately is on property or off property better. It depends on you. It depends on your family. It depends on your needs. It depends on what type of trip you're trying to have. And what's really going to work best for the dynamics of the people that are traveling with you. Again, are there littles? Are there bigs? Are there bigs that are going to want to do things other than just Disney? And so things like that really matter when you talk about booking a vacation. And I know that it's the internet and AI and all of that has people thinking that it's easy enough to book your own vacation. But the advantage to a certified travel professional is we're going to ask all of these questions. We're going to dig in a little bit. We're going to know more about the ins and outs of parks and how things operate and how easily things are accessed or how much harder it would be if you went a different direction. And so, finding a certified travel professional, somebody that's got the education, somebody that did the work and got certified, really matters. It matters in ensuring that you're going to get the best vacation for the dollar you're spending. Because that's what matters to us, is we want you to come home from that vacation and it be everything you wanted it to be. And we want to be here to help make sure that we don't miss any of the fine details, right? So if you are looking to plan a Disney vacation, or Universal or anything in the Orlando area, I am happy to help you out. You can connect with me at pinkshadestravel.com. From there, you'll find links to my socials, an opportunity to schedule a consultation. Let's talk Disney. Let's talk cruises. Let's talk Disney cruises. Let's talk whatever you want to do, and get you booked for a vacation that's really going to be meaningful to you and your family. I hope this was helpful. I hope I gave you a little bit of insight on Disney and whether to stay in park or off resort. I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.